evening, esteemed educators. Thank you for taking out time and coming over Q&I today. I would like to introduce Ms. Shreya Khaitan, who will be your host and moderator for the panel discussion. Shreya Khaitan is alumna of Delhi University and a part of marketing and business team at Q&I. Shreya has worked over with 100 plus schools nationwide, driving impactful growth through various initiatives and edtech collaborations. Her expertise lies in creating impactful initiatives, fostering strong partnership with school and stakeholders, and uncovering growth opportunities to broaden Q&I's impact and reach. Welcome, Shreya.
Thank you, Neha. A very good evening to everyone. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to Q&I today in the city of Bhopal. I want to thank each one of you for making it today. As Neha told you all, my name is Shreya and I will be your host and moderator for this evening. And I look forward to the panel discussions and to the entire event this evening. Q&I Today is a groundbreaking educational event series that will traverse multiple cities across India, bringing together the brightest minds in education. This unique initiative is designed to foster meaningful dialogue and collaboration around the evolving landscape of education in India. This is not just an event. It is a celebration of ideas, collaboration, and innovation. And Q&I is a revolutionary education initiative by Thomson Digital, India's leading digital publishing solutions provider, founded by the promoters of India Today Group. Q&I is a conceptual breakthrough. It represents a paradigm shift in preparing students for competitive examinations from grades 8 to 12. And today I'm here to ensure our discussions are meaningful, insightful, and flow seamlessly. Together we'll explore how technology is transforming education to help students achieve their fullest potential. And we're truly thrilled to have such a distinguished group of educational leaders, innovators, and decision makers gathered here today. As we embark on this exciting journey, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the incredible contributions each one of you has made to the field of education. Your dedication, passion, and commitment to nurturing young minds and shaping the future are truly inspiring. Can I please have a huge round of applause for all of you? Before we begin, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce Mr. Vinay Singh, Executive Director and CEO of Thomson Digital and Q&I. With over 30 years of distinguished experience, Mr. Singh has been a visionary leader in content communication technology, driving Thomson Digital's strategic growth across India, Mauritius, and the US. Under his able leadership, the company has emerged as a key player in the global publishing industry, pioneering digital transformation and innovation. Mr. Singh's deep fascination with emerging technologies has fueled his commitment to driving innovation. His extensive background in scientific, technical, and medical content now guide his focus towards advancing the edtech landscape in India. Leading Q&I, he leverages Thomson Digital's rich legacy to create transformative learning solutions that enhance student experience nationwide. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Singh. Sir, thank you for joining us this evening. Well, we have a packed agenda for today, featuring engaging panel discussions, interactive sessions, and thought-provoking presentations. We hope these sessions will spark new ideas and inspire you to take your initiatives to greater heights. Before we dive into the first segment for this event, our panel discussion, please let me introduce our panel discussion topic for today. The topic is the future of personalized learning, how technology is changing the classrooms. And we're truly honored to have an esteemed panel of speakers for this discussion. Please join me in welcoming our panelists for this evening. May I please invite Mr. Amit Saha, Principal, Swami Vivekanand Public School. Welcome, sir. Please. Mr. Gaurav Kumar, Principal, the Sanskriti School. Dr. Karandeep Singh, Principal, Vibgyor World Academy. Mrs. Lakshmi Peter, Principal, Orion International School. Mrs. Bhavna Srivastav, Vice Principal, Sage International School. Dr. Anju Chopra, Principal, Sri Satya Sai Vidya Vihar. Please join us, ma'am. The panel discussion will be joined by a Q&I team member, Ms. Neha Aghi. Ms. Neha Aghi is the head of Foundation and Learning Design at Q&I. She's a seasoned educational leader with over a decade of experience guiding IIT, JEE, and NEET aspirants. A prolific author of academic books, she has pioneered innovative experiential education methods and AI-driven learning solutions, making education more engaging and accessible. Driven by a passion for social impact, Neha strives to break down educational barriers, empowering students from diverse backgrounds to reach their full potential. Now we are excited to begin. Let's dive into the panel discussion. A big thank you to all of you for joining us this evening. All right, so the topic for today is the future of personalized learning and how technology is changing the classrooms. Technology is shaping every aspect of our lives these days, and why should education stay behind? Today's panel discussion will feature one question to each panelist and their insights and thoughts. We'll also open the forum to our audience members to discuss a few questions post the panel discussion. We'll delve into the future of personalized learning. What are the current school efforts that our institutions are making in these directions? What is the role of data-driven technology, as well as how do we meet the diverse needs of our students in classrooms today? Plus, how do we ensure there is robust educator, parent, and student collaboration in ensuring the success of our students? So without much further ado, let's begin. Let's start with a very simple question. And I have the first question for Dr. Anju, if I may. How do you envision personalized learning complementing and strengthening teaching methods over the next 5 to 10 years? Your question, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. As the topic given to me is the future of personalized learning, technology is changing the classroom. So I would like to start with technology is not the future of Bharat, it is the present of Bharat now. It's the quintessential part of education that we have technology in the classrooms. And we have seen how it is assisting our lessons and how the present generation, or we may say at the time of crisis also, who saved the education? It's the technology only during the times of COVID. And the entire world comes together. Like we can say, it's just like sitting in Harvard from here, and we can give the best lessons to our children. Sitting over here, it's just because of the technology. For that, there is one question that keeps on coming, that the teachers, they feel that their role may be diminished because of technology. But my dear teachers, through your principals or directors, I would like to say that your role is going to enlarge, because Technology cannot be driven on its own. You need teachers, you need mentors, you need facilitators with the children always. We are not machines. We are human beings driven by emotions. And we need personalized touch in each and everything. Maybe we are grown ups. Then also, we have seen we need networking, we need personalized touch, may it be NEP or so many mind boggling changes taking over place in the educational scenario. But aren't we having meetings and networking sessions like this? Why? It can be done through technology also, it can be online also. But there are so many things. Like I myself was a part of the selected few principals from India who was a part of National Curriculum Framework in Delhi this year. There also we met, though it could have been done. It's just sending circulars online or, conveying it to us. But I feel technology is the future along with personalized coaching or teaching or mentoring of the children that is necessary for the superlative, I'll say, enhancement of education or helping our children grow better. And we need to empower them with holistic education. It's just shaping and empowering the icons of tomorrow with technology. Thank you.
So thank you for sharing your thoughts, ma'am. And I think personalization is the way to go. Our students are unique, and we need to ensure that every student is catered to. And good to know that technology is helping us realize this dream. Diving a little deeper into how personalization has entered our classrooms today, if I may ask the next question to Mr. Gaurav. So, what efforts are schools currently making to implement personalized learning? And in your opinion, how can these efforts be more widely embraced in terms of by educators, by students, by parents? So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shreya. Before going to the question that how schools are implementing it, we need to go deeper into how education is delivered actually. So this is a cycle actually. You plan, then you deliver, you assess, you analyze. And on the basis of that analysis, again you plan, then you deliver, assess, analyze. So this is a cycle, right? Now, if we look at the execution part of it, then most of the teachers are struggling with the, you can say that clerical work, we can say, or the administrative work, we can say, because say for example, when a teacher, okay, planning is done, assessment is done. Now, analyzing the result, or you can say the students' achievement or the learning gaps, knowledge gaps, on the basis of the assessment are very difficult and tedious job to do. And what about the differentiation on the basis of analysis? This is the part, or this is the place, the key, where most of the educators are struggling. So if we see that how schools are implementing the technology in the classroom, we cannot generalize it basically. But yes, I can say what is my idea and how I do it and how I train my teachers to do it is actually we shall leave that assessment and analysis part onto the technology. And this is where the role of AI and data analysis comes, data mining comes. So if we can leave this assessment and analysis part for the technology, then we can help our teachers in a better way. They will have more time to plan, to cater to the students, to mentor them. Say for example, for their career counseling, psychological counseling, or the counseling related to, even these days if you talk to this new generation, they are way more smarter than us. I have my kid here. He is 7 years old and he is very clear on what he has to do. And he is very clear on what he can be instructed and what he cannot be forced to. So if we leave this counseling part to the teachers, the mentoring part to the teachers, relieving them from this clerical work of assessment and analysis, there can be a better bond of the learners and the mentors, teachers, emotionally, and as well as in the context of the content as well. Because they will have more time to search the content, to refine their teaching learning process in the classroom, differentiate it more and more. So I think, yes, definitely school, and I don't say that school aren't doing it, schools are doing it, but there are certain barriers into it. First barrier is the finance part. Not all the schools are so much financially, we can say, solid that they can purchase very costly technologies, we can say, or expensive technologies. Second is teachers training. As I told you, teachers are busy with planning, executing, assessing, analyzing, and that goes on. Then most of my fellow principals will agree to this, that we have a difficult time of our life to relieve our teachers to train them. We don't have any time left for this. But training is necessary and a vital part of education these days, especially when the technology, AI, is knocking at our doorsteps. So second is the training, as I said, and third is the execution. I have seen cases where the schools have purchased technologies. They have trained the teachers also, but execution, they failed in execution. And so that entire investment in the technology wasted. So I think, yes, schools are doing efforts and they are purchasing the technologies, training their teachers as well, but execution we'll have to see. So technologies also have to be more user-friendly, where execution is, they must feel that this technology is going to help us and not to burden us anymore, because they are already overburdened people. Thank you.
Some truly important and excellent points raised, sir. While there are great strides being made in bringing personalization to classrooms, bringing technology to the classrooms, there are also challenges that we need to overcome collectively. It requires collective and collaborative efforts from teachers, school leaders like you all, parents, as well as students. Like you said, students today are extremely smart, and they'll keep getting smarter as and when we move forward. The important thing to do here is how do we enhance their learning using technology? Which brings me to my next question to Ms. Bhavna. Ma'am, if you could also share some on-ground examples of personalized learning strategies that you have implemented at your school, and what support or what resources did you need to ensure that they were executed really well? We've understood the concept, we've understood how important it is, but how do we ensure there's executional excellence as well? Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, all. As we talk about personalization, each child is unique, and the child has his or her own weakness, strength. So when we talk about personalized work or personalized attention towards student side, first though we have to see in each and every school 30, 40 students are there. And each child has his weakness, strengths, and we have to find out the solutions of these weaknesses. It is not easy job to find out. Maybe sometimes they are very good in academics, but they are required support in other fields. Or to score good marks or to excel in the field, they are required support from the teachers, from the parents. And in most of the cases, good students, they get support and they are enough smart to take care. But what about the children, those who are below average? And I think am I cleared with my concept that below average students, they are required more support from the parents, from the teachers, from the school. And in most of the cases, what we do, we focus on the students, those who are scorers, but we always see at the end what my below average are doing. So for that, what we implemented in the school, we should finalize in the beginning only. We must see their what they are thinking about their particular field or particular subject. We can segregate them. Without the knowledge of the child, we should start working on the child. For that, what we can do, personally we can meet with the parents. Maybe child has some strengths and weaknesses. Maybe child is weak in the subject but very good in the communication skills, different in the sports field, and the reasons how we can overcome from these problems. If data analysis will be done, like what good habits, good qualities child has, and how we can take care these qualities. Because for example, suppose there is a child who is very good in sports. Most of the time what we do, you are very good in sports, okay, but what about your academics? Through that only we can motivate the child to do good work in the academics too. Suppose child is playing very good cricket, and if you will speak, you can give a live example to the child, like see the cricketer how they speak good English. It means the minimum level of learning, you have to take care your literature part, you have to take care your communication part. In the same manner, different subject also we can take care. When we talk to the parents separately about the child, definitely you will come to know these are the good things, good practices which child is doing at home. For the same, if you will segregate, as I told you, segregation is required. And then as per the need of the child, we may decide what practices to be done, what questions to be put up to the child per day, daily routine to be taken care. If from the beginning we will take good care of each and every point which is required for the betterment of the child, and then it will not be needed at the end of the session or during the exams what my children are doing. So personalized attention is really very, very important. For that we are required support, maximum support from the teacher's side. It is very easy to teach in the class when everybody is teaching the same type. But when you have to see the single child, because you have to do lot of work on the child, and the quality, quantity, and the many other aspects also you have to see what my child is doing, what parents are supporting, what is the daily routine, what are the habits of the child. So by that way, but for the same time we require trained teachers. If we are giving proper training to the teachers that how they have to work, or proper system if we'll make, I think we will be successful for the personalized teaching and their daily routine. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your response, Sam. Thank you for sharing some strategies and how can we look at personalizing our classrooms. We've heard experts talk about how technology shouldn't just be used to replicate traditional teaching methods, but to reinvent our classrooms. And we've heard our panelists talk about analysis, segregation. This is the first step to identifying unique learning needs in our students. So, Ms. Neha, if I may pose this question to you, how can data-driven technology address the diverse learning needs of students in our classrooms of today? How can we leverage technology to analyze our students and deliver personalized learning? Your question.
Thank you, Shreya. As my co-panelist shared, Dr. Anju and Mr. Gaurav rightly shared, the role of teacher is to read the data empathetically. That is the major role, but teachers ended up spending a lot of time in gathering data. So I would like to reiterate that stuff before I get into the technology part of it. We all teachers have a DNA that help us understand diversity. But how do we understand diversity? We gather information and we build intuition on top of it. And then we help children. Now, when it comes to helping children emotionally and motivate them on their behavior and on their day-to-day routine, we have so many eyes that can help us. So how the child was behaving in art class, how the child was behaving in math class, we can gather lot many information from different teachers, and we can build our intuition on that. And we rightly help our children. So there we have mastered that art. But now when it comes to subject specific things, uh, how the child was doing in math, we have just one eye that share that data with us, or in science, in social studies, there is just one eye. So is that information sufficient to build our intuition and take decision rightly for the child? That's a question mark. For behavior, so many eyes, but for subject, limited eyes. Now there comes the role of technology. With AI, this is possible to see whatever our eyes, whatever teachers' eyes cannot see, and to build our intuition to read that data. So how we can do that, as Gaurav sir were mentioning, technology should support teachers, but there are different, there are many tools that are not in sync with what teachers actually need. So teacher intelligence, when supported by artificial intelligence that itself think like a teacher, is something can empower teacher. Machine should also think like teacher. So how we can train that? We can build ontologies, the way teachers teach, the way learner learn. We can build our ontologies, whatever is required from curriculum perspective. So for example, learning objectives are defined by NCF and NEP. So we have learning objectives, standard learning objectives. We can break those learning objectives into multiple knowledge clusters and then knowledge points. So knowledge points are atomic learning targets, which a child needs to understand, that minuscule targets. Now, when children are exposed to questions created on these knowledge points, they not only understand the basic point of it, but also gives us information on whether they have understood or not. On top of it, to bring in personalization, if we combine all these learning targets with learning styles. So for example, let's pick up any one learning target, say locating rational numbers on number line. One student may understand that visually. One student can see it through pattern. One student can locate it with a procedure given by the teacher. So there will be multiple learners in the classroom. If same learning target is combined with multiple learning styles and we pose questions with the help of AI, relevant question, to match the learning styles, then learning will happen automatically. So my learning style is blocking me to grasp that learning target, and with AI that is possible. Now, whatever is happening in the tool, teachers can just read the data empathetically, can see where the child requires help, even even after getting the question that matches with the learning style, if still the child is not able to do, what best can be done. So that is where we can use technology. We can have technology that support teachers, not to, just push teachers to adapt technology. There should be seamless integration, very user-friendly integration of technology. If some push is required, that means there is some gap. So that is where, data-driven technology can help us.
Thank you, Neha. And exactly, differentiated instruction is the way to make classrooms personalized. But to approach differentiated instructions, we need to understand data, and that is one area where technology truly shines. Let's go a little further into understanding how technology can benefit our teachers, our students, but also how can it reduce their stress, their load, and make learning burden-free for our students. So if I may ask Dr. Karandeep, so how can we ensure that using technology, leveraging technology, our classrooms are stress-free, burden-free, and educators can leverage technology in a way that they are free to do what they do best: teaching, mentoring, guiding students. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. And so far, it's been a wonderful, productive session. All the panelists have given extremely valuable points. This is a very pivotal, critical question that you posted. See, first of all, we have to understand, as fellow educators, people who are here, we had a phase when there was pandemic going on. We had this sort of an existential crisis that, okay, we need to, use technology to kind of get through the day. We assumed that then we will have, the brick and mortar system back, and then we'll go back to our ways of possibly being more passive, because technology accelerated, learning in a different way. It was the first time, ironically, that the millennial parent, the child, was locked into a room, and it was only technology which was actually allowing them to have any perspective or any guidance, because the teacher was online. So we need to understand that the first thing, first myth that I would like to debunk is we cannot live in the age of procrastination as educators, whether we are in a tier 1, tier 2 city, anywhere. Because teachers' role in the next 5 years, predominantly by 2030, is going to completely change from what we think is a subject expert to completely a mentor and a facilitator. The schools and organizations that are able to do this successfully will thrive, will sustain. Unfortunately, we have seen, even in the edtech sector, a lot of people who procrastinated or did not have a plan B, did not pivot according to what will happen post-pandemic, are struggling, whether they are from tier 1 cities or wherever. So the name of the game when it comes to supporting students and teachers to actually have the time and space to do what they want to do is to understand that we don't live in the age of honoring time. When I say honoring time, there are 2 meters, productivity and time. We are living in an age where productivity matters. To give you a simple example, teacher A or student B who spends 4 hours on any given task and gives you 100% productivity, that's the student that I want, or the teacher. Teacher B clocks in at 8 o'clock in the morning, says, boss, I've been working all night on the timetable and all of these things, but the actual productivity that has come out of that, what we call KPI, the key performance indicator, is only 20%. That teacher is going to be not, you can say, an asset, might become a liability. I hate to use this word, but unfortunately, the advantage that we have at this point, we're in an age of what we call exponential growth. We're not in a growth age. We're not growing by 1%, 2% when it comes to AI. We are growing by 500, 1500, 2500. Just to give you a simple example, an anecdote I'll share with you. I've been working with the United Nations on the Sustainable Development Goals. It's been 6 years. We have 17 sustainable goals. All of us, I think, are aware about it. Last year, United Nations adopted a policy which clearly states that the only way we could possibly reverse or stop what's happening with respect to climate change is by using AI. Because humanly it's not possible. So it has to be a symbiotic relationship between what we are doing as educators. Even as educators, let me be very honest with you, we have to get out of this, I'm using the alphabet C, not the ocean, the sea of competition to the sea of collaboration. See, unless and until we do not share our best practices, and just like how kids in kindergarten say, no, this is mine. So if we don't get out of that mindset, what's going to happen is, we'll be in silos, right? Silos is that whatever you're doing is limited to what you're doing. You might be doing something wonderful. Doesn't matter where you are in the country or in the world. But if you understand the value of collaboration, that's where you grow. That, boss, this is what I'm doing, what do you think about it? Right? We have teacher groups, we have teacher communities, we have principal groups, we have all kinds of things. But I think as educators, we have to get into that mindset that now we have the time and space. And again, it's a double-edged sword because we are living in a VUCA world. It's a volatile, uncertain, and ambiguous world. Therefore, to create a sustained model where teachers can pivot from only, as some of the speakers rightly pointed out, getting stuck on tasks that can be completely automated by technology, number one. Number two, when it comes to assessment, we have to understand that models like learning-oriented assessment, predictive analysis, continuous assessment using data is so important now because personalization can only happen then. Some of the speakers beautifully spoke that no learner learns the same way. Now you can actually quantify that using data. So just to counter one point, see what happens is children, we brought out a good point, yes, they're smarter than us. That's a good thing. Now, how do you harness that intelligence is your prerogative. For example, students are born these days, we are in a post-literate society. So when a post-literate society means we're a plasma generation. We're not the kind of generation when we're looking at our young kids who are interested in possibly reading and writing. Yes, that's going down. But how do we make sure that by using technology, we can create a balance and an equilibrium? Number one. Number two, as educators, we should not rely on external bodies to tell us, boss, okay, now you tell me what to do. That's passive way of learning. See, you all are in a field of work, education, where lifelong learning is also applicable to us. If we do not upscale and we are not meeting the benchmark of what the industry is expecting, we will also be redundant. So we should not procrastinate, number one. Second, there are hundreds of solutions which are completely free of cost. If anyone feels that, boss, I cannot afford this in this way, you just have to be a little bit smart. So there's a difference between being intelligent and there's a difference between being smart. Now is the need where you need to combine intelligence and being smart. Technology is available in all forms and kinds. The whole question is, how do you utilize it? How do you make sure, like for example, schools like us who deal with Cambridge and IB curriculums, earlier on we used to worry about plagiarism. Now we have to worry about that, is it even written by a student, a research paper for that matter. So now the game is different. So we have to move with the times. And the students should understand that what they know, we know better. So we got to do our homework. Students have an ample opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, now to actually build what we call empathy mapping. The number one problem that we're facing in our education system, which is a ripple effect, is we have a leadership vacuum. And you can see what's happening in the world geopolitically. This is what we call in mathematics butterfly effect. What possibly happened in education 20 years back is what you're seeing in the world leaders right now. So it becomes a responsibility. When I call myself an educator, it's a massive responsibility to realize that any kid who's teaching me, I'm teaching, is my leader tomorrow. Once I'm 80 or whatever, should I live at that age. So what kind of leaders am I producing? So ironically, we have all the technology available right now in the world, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing we don't have are good human beings. So that advantage will be given to you by tech, where all the clerical tasks can be automated, where the teacher can actually spend time to know the child more. A lot of us who were born in the 80s and 70s would remember that there was a time when the headmaster or the teacher would know everything about the child, whatever their activity was, right from the fact they had good technology, but they would know the child inside and out. Now, we only know them possibly transactionally. We have an opportunity now to move again from transactional approach to a transformational approach. How we use this is in our hands. The only request I would put again to this forum is collaborate. Collaboration is the only way to avoid what's happening to your planet, and it is the only way to teach the child that working together is the only way possible. And technology allows you to give you that space and that leverage to work as a group. Right? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Some truly incredible points made. And we know that technology has the power to transform, but true transformational power of technology is not realized when we just implement technology in the classrooms. It happens when we inspire, innovate, engage our students, and truly deliver personalized learning, and also help educators actualize their potential. So thank you for making that point. With that, to bring together our conversation for this evening and to understand For any student, any child, there are important stakeholders involved. Parents, educators, and the child, himself or herself as well. How do we ensure there is collaboration between parents, educators, to ensure that personalized learning does not just stop in classrooms? It's happening both at home and as well as at school. So if I may just ask the next question to Mrs. Lakshmi. Ma'am, how do you see collaboration between all the three stakeholders in ensuring personalized learning for our students? Over to you.
Good evening, dear friends. Very simply, a special question was asked to me, and we all know about parents. I think all of us are dealing with parents these days. The toughest part in school is dealing with parents. We all accept this. And it's really why it is so, because their mental status, our educator status, and with child, we are having three different mindsets. And to bring all these mindsets together is the toughest task. It is actually what we need to deal with. If the best part is make the parents become friends with us. This is what we teach in our school. We tell our teachers also. What happens, first of all, we should know about the data of the child, and we should discuss this with the parents also. Regular touch with the parents is must. When we have PTMs already in our school, all of us have PTMs, but it is not sufficient. With PTMs, what we have to special interaction with parents is also personalized learning we talk about. So we have to take care of personally the child also. If you talk about the students in a class, we have a set of 40 students in a classroom, 40 students in one classroom. They are of different calibers. We all know some are very good, some are mediocre, and some are slow learners. So giving same thing to all of them will not work. And that's what the effects we are seeing in the classroom also. We are not coming with 100% output because whatever we are teaching it's common for all. It's fine. When homeworks we are giving is also common. But now the question comes where we need to take help of parents and what to do. The good students generally, ma'am, they take care of themselves. But the mediocres also take care. But the one who are really weak in the studies, the parents, here we need the help of parents. Not there only, but for every stage. So let us make parents our friends. Mothers, especially when we talk about teachers, we talk to them. And younger stage, mothers can become good friends of teachers also. Let them discuss whatever is going on in school. The teacher should take out time and talk to them. Second important thing is when we talk about the students, when they come to school, when they discuss something, don't say simply, because it happens, I've seen in my life also, in my career life. We generally we simply start saying, your parents don't know this. We should not comment on it. Because parents are really, they're working with us because today's strategy, education is different from yesterday. Some parents are very well aware of it, but some are not. So we have to help them. We have to become friends of them. Second thing, monitor their attendance, especially in senior classes. We struggle with attendance. We all know we are struggling. So in that case, again, we have to first of all, we have to build faith in parents. Yes, they should trust us and they should think, yes, they are with us. Our teachers are with us. They are the better ones who are helping our students, our children. So when we develop this faith from the parents, when they understand us, then it goes very smooth. Third important thing, madam, what I think is, it is okay that we are sending homeworks and the things to home, but sometimes I feel we should call parents also to school and to take care what is going on in school. Like when we talk about exhibitions, let us put some parents exhibits also with us. Let us promote them also. Let us bring them when we have sports in our schools. Let us call them also. Let us show their caliber also with the students. Then they will also become friendly with us. They'll understand. Then when we talk about projects, when we give so many like geography projects we give, when we all know in summers the students generally go for a trip wherever they're going with their parents. If we discuss with parents and tell them you're going to this place, why don't you ask the child to help in this place? What about the temperature? Whether that water is there, whatever they are saying, if you talk about OS, whatever is there. Let us help your child also to find out, survey the things, and you also help. The parents will happily help. So we need to take care of parents and we have to bring them to us. Even I feel in curriculum also we don't talk about, but school way whatever we are setting, if we make parents to come and discuss, they will definitely help us, and if they help us, it becomes it is smooth for us to deal with the child. Then one more thing, madam, I feel, when we talk about parents and when we talk about students, when we talk about our curriculum, our environment, the most important part among all this, we are discussing about all these things, but one is when we talk to parents about academics, we are talking about academics also, it happens that parents are all learned these days. They all know the subjects they all, but yes, somewhere they are not able to understand. So when we all know when we were in COVID times, online classes were there, we were using technology. Now what happens, we are there in offline classes. So the students know the use of mobile they are using. But if we talk, because simply giving work on mobiles or simply giving on technology will not, we have to monitor the things. We should talk to parents, yes, this we are giving and help them. So parents will definitely take care, and with the help of parents and students, definitely we improve our results in all the ways, even in values also, I feel. Values maybe when we talk to parents, because every family has their own value oriented, they have their own values. And when we talk to them about the child, when we tell about the child, this is what the shortcomings of the child, this is what the strength of the child. And especially in younger classes, when we read something good about the child is good, so he may not be so good in subjects, but in a child, in a person, we know something is good, that we all accept. Let us find out and let us tell this to parents. And believe me, they'll be so happy and they'll work with us. So I feel parents are there with us. They are partners in education. So let us take their help. Let us monitor our education also accordingly. And ultimately, both we educators and parents will work together for the betterment of the child. This is what, madam, I feel. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you for your perspective, ma'am. If I may also extend the same question to Amit sir. So what is your perspective on how do we inspire collaboration between parents, educators and students to ensure... Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Last panelist, and that to the repetition of question. And I must, may I know how much time I am having here? Because we have lot to say, because generally gents principal don't get chance to speak. At school we don't get chance because of staff members, and at home because of fill in the blanks. That's why I am telling you that I must appreciate. Right now I am worried that my chair na chala jaya, because for the last all my panelists lost their chair, and I have been praying कि यार अब कोई ना आ जाए, नहीं तो एक जो मेरा chair बचा है, I am looking at that. Anyhow, see, I must thank all my panelists for creating and delivering so enlightening. And most of us are already using this collaboration method. I think nothing to say much. But yes, just to review, because all of us are already following those methods. So you should not, by the end of my talk, you should not say, "Kya naya bataya? Ye to hum karte hain." So just discussing, just for the sake of our reminder, that every one of us must develop a good, healthy relation with the parents, where these days we know that parents are always there to shoot the educators, and they feel that all the time they speak certain. The other day I was looking at my guard stop one of the parents who came late with his kids, and I was observing through CCTV, and he was telling my guard that हम जो पैसा देते हैं ना, उससे तुम्हारे प्रिंसिपल, तुम और तुम्हारे टीचर पलते हैं, गेट खोलो. So when this type of scenario where we are staying, so I think first we need all the school where we are educating the student, but now we need to educate the parents. School should not be the only institution to teach the student. Rather, teach the parent तो नहीं बोल सकते. We must say कि we must discuss with the parent. We should have a continuous discussion, continuous workshop, something which they must understand. They should not undervalue the importance of, sir, आप पहले बात कर लीजिए सर, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. I can wait, sir. I can wait.
I'm going to request everyone to kindly put your phones on silent modes. Let's respect the panelists that are up here sharing their thoughts. Please, everyone.
मैंने बताया ना पहले वर्ड था चेयर के लिए, आप एक वर्ड दे देंगे तो I cannot speak much. Or anyhow, so continuous follow, then we can have certain channels through which we can discuss with the parents, and we can also take their inputs and we can give our inputs. We should have a personalized student profile we can create with the help of technology, of course. That's where it's open both for the students, for the parents as well as for the educators, so that they both can update each other about the students' upgradation, students' strength, weaknesses, the areas where he and she can improvise with the help of each other. So few more things which we will be discussing, but right now, as Shreya told that we are having very limited time, so we must give importance each other's time. So I must thank everyone for listening me patiently. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for sharing your perspective, sir. And truly, concluding everybody's remarks and everybody's perspective here, it's absolutely important to ensure that there is collaboration, cooperation between parents, between educators, because this is a game of collaboration. The one way we can ensure that the student succeeds is ensuring that he or she gets learning, gets enrichment from both the sides. So thank you for sharing your perspective. And with that, we come to the end of our panel discussion. I want to thank all the panelists for taking out the time, sharing your thoughts and insights. But before we completely conclude, I would like to open the forum to ask any question that any one of you may have for our panelists. We can take 2 questions. If you would like to ask a question to our panelists, anything related to the topic, the future of personalized learning and how technology is changing the classrooms. So we can take 2 questions. Team, please be available with mic so that, yeah. Thank you so much. So anybody, any question you all would like to ask the panelists? The floor is yours.
जिसके पास माइक जाएगा ना उधर कैमरा.
Good evening, everybody. My question is that the educators are more worried towards the completion of the syllabus. When we talk about personalized learning, there are ample of strategies. Everybody of us knows that we have ample of strategies with us where we are working on that also. But the main concern goes with the completion of the syllabus. So if you are targeting student-wise, so we can make the groups, we do all such sorts of things like cooperative learning techniques we use. Then we use multiple intelligence theories so that we can combine the needs of each and every student. But still I feel that the shortage of that time, that is a very important factor. For the primary section, if we very specifically go into that, for the primary section it is okay. Yes, the students are in our hands, but as we gradually move on to the middle school and the high school, we find that the teachers are more oriented towards the syllabus completion because there is a pressure on them. We cannot blame anybody for that, but yes, there's a sort of a pressure of completion of the syllabus. Board classes are excluding board classes, we know that we have to do that for them, but other classes as well. So anybody would you like to throw some light on that? Thank you so much.
Ma'am, your question is very realistic. And I think we must train the teacher. Just tell them many times when teachers approach me, sir, you need to cover the syllabus. I used to say, no, you need to uncover the content.
ब्लैंक चाहिए पूरा
Rather than covering the syllabus, we need to understand that we need to uncover it. And yes, time constraint is always there, but I think these days most of the board, including the CBSE board, have reduced the curriculum as it was earlier. Isn't it? Am I correct? पहले से और कम कर दिया मैम. Seeing all these things, because these days teacher need to emphasize on so many other things and subject integration, NEP implementation, so many other things. So seeing all these things, CBSE and other board have already reduced the curriculum portion. I think it is quite manageable, and every day we'll see. And this is designed in such a way, all the curriculum designer, all the person who have designed it, they also used to take our feedback. And on the basis of that, I think these days to complete the syllabus is no more a problem. Problem is that teachers are not managing it properly, so we need to ensure that they must understand and they must have a scheduled plan. Means throughout the year, what I do in my school, board give us a yearly plan, we give monthly plan, weekly plan, micro plan for each and every week, because we know about each and every holiday, each and every function right in the beginning of our session. So we can also set our target according to the months. Why to prolong the things till the last moment? तो हम आखिरी तक किसी चीज को stretch ना करें. Every month you do the follow-ups, and if you will find that yes, this month we are lagging behind, do some extra classes. That is the remedial classes that can also work. Means this is what I am practicing. I am just sharing my good practices, whether it's good or not. We set monthly targets, and if it don't get completed, we do some remedial classes. Then yes, individual differences teachers ने कर दिया, लेकिन there are the students who are lagging behind. We can do that. So this is how we can complete or rather uncover the syllabus as per given by the CBSE or the different boards. Thank you.
Just to add to what Sir was talking, it's a very valid point, man. It's a very valid question. See, I think all of us practice during the starting of the academic year. All of us have something called strategic planning, long-term, mid-term, short-term, micro-VSO, and all of that. The advantage that we have now is, see, we need to start understanding. You rightly said that primary years, absolutely okay. We need to, when we talk about personalization of learning, we have to understand that the stakeholder is also the student and the parent. So from pedagogy, we need to start activating andragogy, which means self-directed learning. See, the moment the parent realizes that they have a stake in the, I'm not talking about the syllabi. Syllabi is one thing. What becomes more critical is curriculum planning. That means syllabus is your board. But overall as a school, curriculum, which comes from a Latin term, curricula, which is how do you actually take off, how do you actually complete, curriculum planning becomes much more critical. So just to answer one, just to add this aspect that when we're talking about personalization, it is also when we say, with great power comes great responsibility. If you're giving the tools to the teachers, to the students, you have to bring in this aspect of self-directed, project-based learning, where andragogy normally we used to follow only in university. But you have to understand that you will notice in the next few years, pedagogy is going to completely be replaced, completely in K-12 also by andragogy. Why? Because we are looking at students to be more self-empowered, self-directed, and understand the value of what they're studying. Till the time we keep spoon-feeding the teacher, syllabus is not completed, this is not completed. It becomes very clerical. You need to give them the space and you need to challenge the students to actually take on andragogical ways. That comes through training and development. I'm sure all of us are doing it, but just to give you a perspective that education, even because of NAP, is moving towards andragogical ways, even in K-12.
See, complete the syllabus in class 9th and 10th is not that difficult. It is very easy. But we stuck in class 11th and 12th. And 12th is also not, because there are so many portions are deleted. But definitely when we talk of 11th and we take 12th also, we have to bridge the contents. We know 11th and 12th, and somewhere when you talk about competitions also, there are contents we know. So the content which is there in competitive exams, let us take it in a depth. We go in depth also in that content. And let us plan in a proper way the lesson plan which we are planning, the teaching bits which are adding. We have to monitor our teachers to take care of that. Because completing syllabus is one part. See, we all know by November first week, I think many of us have completed our syllabus in 12th class. And by the end of not even January, by mid-January we complete our syllabus of 11th also. It means it is not that difficult. Only thing is we have to monitor our teachers how to complete, and wherever you feel extra we can add. So that becomes easy for us to complete the syllabus as well as gives extras to the students also. This is what I feel, and this is what we are doing in our school. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? We can take one more question for this evening. Yes, ma'am. Please.
Good evening, all. I have one more question regarding how technology is changing the classroom. We are talking about the AI and technology. So are we just removing the bookish knowledge or the books literature, and we are adopting the AI and technology modes so that the students are more reliable and they will be more depending on the technology?
I don't think so. Any of the school believe in only bookish knowledge. Overall development, or we believe in 360-degree development, which is out of the class. How much we have studied, what concepts we have done when we were young in the classes, in the school. I think nobody can tell us that this much we have done, but what we have learned, which skills we have developed, these skills are more important. We may understand, we count their marks, we see the percentage, but it comes at the end when we come to 10th and 12th. That is also, we should take care. Only bookish knowledge is not enough. We have to see how my child is behaving, how my child is developing, what knowledge I am sharing, and a child's overall personality.
So I would like to add to this, picking up the sequence from Carol Dweck's theory, knowledge leads to mindset and mindset leads to skills. So while choosing the tools, it's very important to understand what is the fundamental framework of that tool. So AI tools work on simple knowledge, and some of the AI tools work on skills. So if we choose the tools where fundamental framework is skills, that will help educators. But if the fundamental framework is just knowledge, it's a replacement of book. It will not add much. In the name of AI, I mean, we also have to be a little wiser what framework we are choosing.
Thank you. See, I will not go into the technical part of it. I will give a very simple example. And I think all of us who are the products of 70s and 80s will agree to it. If I take my example, right? I was born and brought up in a joint family. Father used to say, Gaurav, यहाँ से उठ के इधर बैठ जाओ. I said, okay, Papa ji. दादाजी बोलते थे, भाई यहाँ से उठ के उधर बैठ जाओ. ठीक है दादाजी. When I say my child, यहाँ से उठ के बेटा इधर बैठ जाओ, he asks why. So actually see, like using AI and technology, they are getting the food to thought, food to know. And this is where we as educators come in. We need to ignite that fire. So I think the technology will cater to that need. So I think students, instead of being the passive learners, will become the active learners this way. Thank you.
So just one last question. Yes, ma'am, please.
Am I audible?
Yes.
My question is straight to Dr. Karandeep Singh. And my question is, during COVID time, we have, started knowing about homeschooling. And yes, it has started growing. Now, I would like to know its future. Thank you.
Great question. To give you a very interesting perspective, when the Cambridge curriculum started, just taking an example, you won't believe Cambridge started homeschooling in 1922. That time it was correspondence. That means a lot of our leaders in our country were actually doing the Cambridge curriculum through correspondence because we had no technology. What you rightly pointed out is when we talk about homeschooling, right? With the advantage of technology and personalization, tomorrow let's say someone is born as a prodigy, you're an amazing musician, you are genuinely going to make a career in tennis. How do I make sure that you're also able to pass through the ranks of the K-12 system and you can graduate and you can focus on your career? We have about 10 to 12, 15% students even in India who are born with a career-oriented mindset and parents are looking at homeschooling. Homeschooling now becomes much more pertinent because the hybrid model of learning is available. Pick up any board. We're not relying anymore, we're not in that age where we are relying on open examinations like NIOS. Any board that you want, you can enroll, you can do homeschooling, you will have private tutors. In fact, the misconception should not be that this is only applicable to people who can afford homeschooling. The same fees applicable despite the board. The advantage of homeschooling is with the combination of technology, with the combination of what we call in tech synchronous and asynchronous learning. That means live and which is loaded content-wise. The student is now actually able to, I can give you an example of a company like Upgrad, having worked as a consultant with them, we are doing doctors of business administration online. And we have students from maybe 20, 30, 40 countries. So what is happening now is that the taboo that we used to have, that okay, my child is homeschooled, there must be something wrong with the child, is gone. And to put things in perspective, homeschooling in India possibly took momentum because of the pandemic, but in the world, homeschooling has been going on right from the early 1920s. It's a concept that the world has adopted pretty well, and it actually works really well for a lot of students and parents. So it's a very individualistic need, but there are tools available.
Thank you to the audience for your questions. Thank you to our panelists for taking those extra questions. And with that, we come to our panel discussion as well as our audience interaction. Once again, my deepest gratitude to each one of you for taking out the time to be here with us and sharing your thoughts, experience, and expertise. The future of education technology looks very bright, especially because it's emerging really fast, but also because leaders like you all stand at the helm of affairs, standing there with your arms wide open to embrace the change. The future for us students looks really bright, thanks to each one of you, and we're really excited for what the education landscape looks like in the next 10 to 15 years. So once again, thank you to each one of you. But before we end this, may I please request Neha Aghi to kindly give a token of our gratitude and appreciation to each one of you, once again for joining us. Please present them with a small token of our gratitude to each of the panelists. Thank you, Neha. Thank you to all our panelists. That was a power pack discussion. And now we are excited to move into a segment that speaks directly to the heart of innovation and progress in education. At Q&I, we believe in the power of personalization and the transformative impact of adaptive learning. Q&I is a bridge that connects students to their fullest potential. The one that creates an environment where every student can thrive regardless of their starting point. In a world where technology is reshaping every aspect of our lives, education cannot afford to stand still. The next presentation is an invitation to imagine how we, as educators, can harness these advancements to make learning more engaging, more effective, and more meaningful for our students. I invite each one of you to not just listen, but to envision how this approach can transform our classrooms, ignite curiosity, and truly empower students to take control of their learning journeys. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Anurag Chandra, Head of Product and Business Operations at Q&I. Mr. Chandra is an alumnus of IIT Kanpur with around 20 years of experience in the education space. He has authored several academic books for JEE and a bestseller fiction titled The Ramayana Secret in 2018. He comes with comprehensive experience in several top edtech companies in different roles in content, product, and business. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Chandra. Please take our esteemed school leaders through the Q&I vision and story.
Am I audible? Yeah. Good evening, school leaders and educators. Once again, thank you very much for taking time out today to join us at the Q&I Today event. And thanks for enlightening us and sharing your feedback and insights on the future of personalized learning. The future of personalized learning is something that's very close to us as an organization that's developing solutions in content and technology for the last 5 decades. So when we started to develop a solution catering to the school education system in India, we really wanted to gather as much of insights and feedback from all of you. And it's really great to know that the educators and the school leaders today are so open to adopt the new technological changes and are eager to bring them and incorporate those changes into their learning experiences to improve the learning experiences for the children and for the students. The next 15-20 minutes that I'm going to spend over here, we are going to introduce our organization and introduce some of the programs and offerings that we have come up with for the school education system and catering to certain specific grades. So we'll just briefly touch upon the programs and offerings that we have for you, and then we'll probably open the forum to get your insights, understand what you think about the program. And for a later point in time, we will again, we would love to come back to the city, talk to each one of you at an individual capacity at your schools, and then take the discussions forward. The organization that we are a part of, that Q&I is part of, is Thomson Digital. Thomson Digital is part of the larger India Today umbrella group of companies. So we identify India Today with mostly the media channels and other companies that we have, but Thomson Digital has been into the space of providing content and technology solutions to global leading scientific, technical, medical, and educational publishers, the likes of Pearson's and McGraw-Hill's, Elsevier. So we have been providing them content and technology solutions for the last 50 years, more than 5 decades, where we handle a lot of their content. We take the content, structure it, develop technology solutions catering to their specific needs. So whatever Thomson Digital has been doing or had been doing in the last 5 decades was mostly at the global level outside India. So in the last 4 or 5 years, there was a shift where we wanted to get back to India, start doing something for our own country. And because we had that experience of developing content and technology for over so many years, progression into the education space in India was the natural progression for us. And 4 or 5 years, roughly 1 year prior to COVID, we started to look out and see where exactly is a challenge for us to get into, because 4-5 years down the line, 4-5 years back, there were a lot of edtech companies that were already mushrooming in the Indian education space, right? So we did not want to be one amongst the many, and that is why we spent a lot of time understanding what is the challenge that we would want to solve. So we did not want to become an educational provider that simply gives content and in the form of an online solution or an offline solution. We did not want to be that. So we spent a lot of time researching and analyzing and figuring out what the different stakeholders in the Indian education space were looking at. What are the challenges that they feel that are still not being catered to, or probably not being catered to in the best fashion that it should be. So we went into the schools, we talked to a lot of school leaders, we continue to do so. We talked to a lot of students, we talked to a lot of parents. And when we began this whole research, we were focused initially on the grades 11th and 12th, because that is when a lot of students start to prepare for various streams, various careers, and that is when they start to focus on different examinations. So the choices of different examinations spring up, and that is a time when actually the students start to make a choice. So we started looking into 11th and 12th to begin with, and later on we went to the lower grades also. But some of the key features some of the key points that came to notice was that there were two learning systems that were developing, especially after the grades 10, where there was school that was focusing on providing holistic development to the child, was focused on the board success, it was helping in build citizens for the country, it was aligned with new age learning, it was providing safe and sanitized learning environment to the children. On the other hand, there was another system, parallel system, that was catering to the need of students and parents looking for a very focused exam preparation program, which was an after-school program, where the focus was mostly on ensuring competitive success, where the focus was on standardized assessments, because these exams are standardized. So you had a group of students taking the same set of assessments and preparing and going through the same preparation journey. There was a mix of stars and regular teachers, so there were some faces that were propped in front of you, and on the basis of that, you enrolled in these after-school programs without being certain what your future was. And they had their own previous track record to talk of, because they were present across the country. You had students across the country producing results. So that was something that they were using the previous track record to come up with generating the need for such kinds of programs. So we had schools and after-school program, both catering to similar set of problems, but they were detached. And this was one major problem that we identified that was probably troubling the students as well as the parents as well. Because one thing that was happening is that post class 10th, the number of students who were opting out of regular schooling, almost 20% of them did so because they wanted to prepare for these competitive examinations, which was a very high number. The students get into the school at nursery stage, they spend 10-12 years in that protected environment, they get all the learning there, and for the 2 years, they had to move out because of various reasons. Probably one of the reasons was there was no such program that was working in tandem with the school. So that was a challenge. It also presented a whole lot of problems for parents, because if there was no availability of a good program where they can actually get their students to prepare for these examinations, they had to send their children outside the city or probably shift, and things like that happened. There was a lot of financial burden as well. So there were multiple problems that spiraled because of this parallel learning structure that was being developed. What we were getting was a competing program. So both the school at 11th and 12th and these after-school programs catered to mostly similar kind of syllabus, but the preparation mechanism was different, the type of questions was different, and hence they resulted in a competing program that was disconnected from the school. For the group, because there were huge number of students who participate in these after-school programs and they're clubbed together in groups, so all the assessments, all the learning that was being imparted was still in the one-size-fits-all approach. So every group was given the same set of questions, same set of teachers, hundreds of students being kept in a classroom, and same learning was being imparted without catering to individual student or without getting into understanding whether the child is learning or not. And that was because it was not a trained system to educate children, unlike the school system. And the third was an unregulated learning environment. So these 2 years that the child had to go to these after school programs, be it in the offline mode where they had to visit a physical center, or in an online mode where they had to listen to live lectures or recorded lectures sold at a very low rates, it was still unregulated. We did not have any control on what the child was learning. A program was given to them and nobody knew what the child was learning in that online or an offline environment. So these were some of the concerns that we were getting because of the parallel learning structure that was being developed. What we probably needed, and that is something that we also figured out with our regular conversations with the various stakeholders, was probably the need of a complementing program. A program that complemented the school learning, works in tandem with the school to provide the required learning to the students, probably fill in the 30-40% that is not being provided at the school because of various reasons. The schools, probably the commitment is something different. So we need a complementing program that works in tandem with the school. The second is individual student focus. Now, when we talk about competitive examinations, when we talk about students being ready for making a career choice, probably in grades 8, 9, and 10, we need to focus on individual students before we thrust them onto any particular examination. Because the success rate of these competitive examinations is also very low. So it is very important that we understand our student at every level and probably guide them accordingly so that we don't wait for 2 years, probably at the end of grade 12, when they get to know that they are not good enough for a particular examination. So we need to understand the student, we need to understand how they are learning, how they can improve, and if not for a particular exam, prepare them for an alternative exam, prepare them or give them those alternative options so that they are not left with any choice post their class 12. So this is something that needed to be addressed. And the third thing was providing safe and secured environment. Again, as I said, because of these after-school programs, there were lots of issues, security issues, safety issues, children moving to different cities, living in hostels, moving out of schools where they have a social environment, where they have other activities also, including the academic journey that they are going to be a part of, whereas these after-school programs cater only on the academic success part of it. So providing that environment for the students to perform optimally was also the need of the hour. So these are the things that we felt or we figured out basis our interaction with the various stakeholders over the last 2-3 years that we went about developing the program. And then the idea of Q&I took shape. The idea of Q&I was to provide personalized learning solutions to students, 360-degree personalized learning solutions to the schools and the students, so that all the stakeholders in the students' learning journey are participative, are a part of it, so that the success is ensured. So Q&I came up with a product as well as a program offering. There are some key points that we addressed in the program offerings that we came up with. So we will just go through these one by one, and then I'll tell you how we actually differentiate ourselves from the rest of the players that are there in the market. So Q&I's program, as I said, it works in tandem with the schools. So what we offer to the schools is a seamlessly integrated learning program at school for board preparations and competitive examinations. So though we started with 11th and 12th to begin with, we now offer solutions starting from grades 8 to 12th. So 8, 9, 10 is what we call foundational years, where we do not focus on any particular examination, because that is the time we feel that the children must work and focus on building their subject knowledge skills, the core learning skills, the strategic learning skills as we call it. So 8, 9 and 10 is spent doing that. 11th and 12th, when the students are more focused on what career stream they are going to opt for, we offer preparatory programs for JEE and NEET for now. Probably 1 or 2 years down the line, we will have additional programs like CUET and CLAT added to the fore. We are still working on that. So currently, we are offering solutions for grades 8, 9, and 10, where we help them build academic competence in mathematics, science, and social science. For 11th and 12th, we focus primarily on the JEE and NEET preparations, And hence we offer solutions for maths, physics, chemistry, and biology. Now, when I say that we offer a seamlessly integrated program, what we mean by it is that we offer a solution within the school in collaboration with the school. So the solution that Q&I comes up with is not offered at a physical center outside the school. So we are not a coaching center that operates in your city and the students come there. We collaborate with the school, understand their requirements, devise an academic calendar that can focus or customize to that school, so that we can focus on that school completely and prepare the students for whatever they opt for. Either the grades 8, 9, and 10, where the students will opt for building their core and the strategic learning skills. And if they opt for 11th and 12th, which is JEE and NEET specific preparation, again, both these programs are conducted within the school, where we collaborate with the school to formulate an academic calendar. So that is what a seamlessly integrated learning program for us means. The second aspect is personalized attention to focus on individual student. As I said, Thomson Digital has been into the space of providing content and technology solutions for the last 5 decades. So developing, structuring content has been our bread and butter. One of the insights that we heard was, would AI replace the bookish knowledge of the books that we have as of now? Definitely not. We are using that content to structure it in a format that makes it really granular. And when we present that content to the students, we are able to draw a lot more insights than we would be able to when we just have a book in hand. If we just have a book in hand, we just know if the child has been able to answer the question correctly or not. But if we structure that content onto a technological platform like Q&I, we are able to draw a lot more insights. As much as 27 pieces of information derived from one single question that a child attempts on the platform. So that is how technology that we have tried to develop helps us scale the solution and reach out to the level of an individual student. So Q&I, with the power of technology, is able to provide a personalized attention needed for the child to understand where their gaps are and then provide them the feedback and recommendation on how to proceed further. So that's the second aspect of the solution that we are offering. The third is providing that safe and secured environment with quality content and teaching. We are a part of a larger organization that has been into the system for the last 5 decades. So we have very robust systems and processes in place, right from how we hire our teachers, right from how the content is ingested, how the quality of the content is assured, how the continual improvement, training of teachers and the content happens. So we all have a very, very structured, very robust process in place. In addition to that, since this program runs within the school in collaboration with the school, it provides the child that extra space to blossom, to prosper, and provide and perform optimally. Because when the child comes into the school system, they are relaxed because they have been a part of that system for the last 10, 12 years. And that gives them that edge over the other students who have to adapt to a new learning system in class 11th and 12th. So that is the third aspect of the solution. The fourth is reduced burden and upskilling opportunities for school teachers. Again, another insight was our teachers are also struggling with completion of syllabus. I understand that because besides the syllabus, we also have to cater to different levels of students. So even though the syllabus might be limited, catering to a group of 40 students at different levels is again a very big challenge. So this is where a technology solution again comes into play and plays a very major role, because now catering to individual student level becomes very easy. We are able to design 40 different assignment sheets for 40 different students at different levels. Basis the assignments and basis the practice and assessments that the child does on the platform, lots of insights are generated, and the platform that is intelligent enough at real time is able to create one-touch reports and dashboards where the teachers, the schools, and various stakeholders, including the parents, are able to see where the child is and where they have to be. When Q&I started and when we started developing the product, the Q&I platform, the idea was to develop a Google roadmap for learning. Just like today we use Google whenever we have to go from place A to place B, even if we know the how or where exactly the location is, we still use that to get a sense of how much time will I take, if I would encounter jams, if I should delay, if I should opt for a different route. So all that information is provided by Google Roadmap. We wanted to develop a similar system with Q&I, where a child, so that when a child comes into the system with Q&I, they have a defined goal at the end, right? They have a goal at the end of clearing a particular exam, clearing a particular grade with certain, at a certain level, or probably becoming proficient in certain subjects. So they have a definitive goal in mind. And when they begin the journey, we are able to trace out what the whole learning journey for the child would be, basis how they are performing on the platform. So all that information at the click of a button is available for various stakeholders so that they can take timely actions, the remedial actions, and then they can help the children learn better. So these are the 4 key elements of the solution that we have tried to build in the program offering. Again, the program offering is for grades 8 to 12. 8 to 10, we are focusing on building their foundational skills. Foundational learning skills is their ability to apply the knowledge, evaluate, analyze, comprehend. So these are the various things that we consider when we are talking about core learning skills. And there are some strategic learning skills which pertain to the accuracy, the speed, the time management, because ultimately they are going to appear in some examinations which are going to have elements of these as well. So some strategic learning skills and some foundational core learning skills is what we focus on in grades in 8, 9, and 10, math, science, and social science. 11th and 12th, we focus majorly on JEE and NEET. What it results in, we have clearly defined outcomes. So when we begin talking with the school, when we begin talking about collaboration with the school, it's not about getting X number of admissions from the school or providing learning solutions to them. It is also about tangible outcomes that we want to define. So when we get into a school to provide this kind of a solution, improved results and higher retention of students post class 10th is one of the major goals for us. So for schools, when we get into the system, we make sure that when the students are moving from 10th to 11th, we present to them a very, very viable option so that they can choose to stay back in the school. And this is something that we have experienced in some of the programs that we have run in different parts of the country so far. The adoption of technology to stand out from competition. Again, Q&I's technology solution, the solution that we have come up with, does not work in isolation. It does not work in a silo where a school operates exclusive and we operate exclusive. We collaborate together. So because of that, the technology adoption is seamless, and hence we are able to provide an option to the schools to stand out from the other technological solutions that probably do not cater to such criteria. And third is obviously with the success of the program, we intend to have the new admissions, and this is something that we also set as a key performance indicator. So when we work with a school, when we customize a solution for the school, these are some of the numbers that we agree upon before we actually begin. So these are some key tangible outcomes that we work with a school before we actually begin the program. That was at a very macro level on what are the key elements of the solution that we are providing. Now, it may give you an idea that we still may sound or look like a regular coaching institute, except for the fact that we are not operating a center in the city. We are working with the school. Other than that, it may seem that we are just another after-school learning program that's happening within the school timing. And this is where the learning cycle that we employ differentiates us. Each step that we have employed has been done taking care of that to make sure that the learning is perfect. When a child enters to the system of Q&I, when the child begins to learn in the Q&I program at the school, the first step that we take is to conduct a diagnostic test. Before beginning the actual learning program, we first need to understand what the levels of the students are, prescribe them certain remedial solutions, prescribe them certain bridge courses so that we can bring them at par or actually provide them the required prerequisite skills that is needed before we begin the program. So the diagnostic test is conducted, and then we offer a bridge course where we bring in the students at the same level. That's the first step of integration of the program. The second step is the learning. The learning happens in multiple modes. So we have an on-site mode where our teachers are physically stationed within the school premises 6 days a week from the school hours to extended 2 hours to offer those individual hours of support required for the children. So that is the on-site learning model, the teachers stationed at the school in your city, and they are completely dedicated, devoted to your school. So they do not travel to any other school on any of these 6 days. They become a part of the school system itself. The second model is the hybrid model, which is where we actually collaborate with the school teachers. So we have a set of master experts who are teaching from our centralized studios in Noida. We work out in the next 3 months before the academic year begins. We spend the next 3 months to actually work out a customized plan. We work out some training schedules so that your teachers and our teachers can collaborate together, wherein there are some aspects that the school teachers will take care of. So these hybrid programs are offered within the school through a smart classroom. So the students who opt for the Q&I program, they will be part of the online classes that are conducted by the Q&I experts from Noida, but it will also have the subject teachers at school present in the class to help with the doubts and other doubts that may come up in the class for the teachers to answer. And there are some other aspects that the teachers at school will collaborate with us on. So that is something that we work individually with the school. That's the second model. So one is where our teachers are physically stationed at the school 6 days a week. And the second is a hybrid solution where our teachers are teaching from the studios in Noida. We are providing the content, we are providing the platform, and we have the support from the school teachers. These are the two models where we are teaching. The ultimate vision again for Q&I is to also enable the teachers in the process at the school to actually conduct the learning themselves in the long run. So probably once we associate 2-3 years, or probably 1 or 2 years that we spend together, we want to make sure that the teachers themselves become so upskilled and trained that they are able to utilize the power of Q&I's unique AI adaptive learning platform to take the learning to the students all by themselves. So that is the third model that we also get associated with in case the schools are ready for that. So this is how the learning is imparted. Once the learning happens in the school during the class hours, the next step is for the students to go ahead and practice and take assessments. Now these practice and assessments, they are also taken in the form of books and the material that we provide, but the most significant part, or something that differentiates Q&I from a regular after school coaching program, is the adaptive learning platform that we have developed. So the student has access to a device on which they are able to practice questions for topics that they are learning at the school. So it's not at a chapter level, it's at a more granular level of topics. We are able to also go down to the level of concepts within the topics. The students are able to take these assessments and practice. Now these practice sessions are not standardized. So although they have to take the same exam probably 2 years down the line or 1 year down the line, the preparation journey need not be standardized. So every student will get questions according to their own learning level, and hence we call it an adaptive learning platform. So when I say that the platform adapts, it doesn't simply run into 3 steps of providing an easy question, a medium question, and a tough question. We segregate, or we separate these 3 steps into 27 steps. So an easy question will have 9 levels of easy. A medium question will have 9 levels of medium difficulty, and a tough question will have 9 levels of tough questions within our system. And that makes the learning truly adaptive and granular. So there is no sudden jump in the learning process for the child. So that is the power of practice and assessment that differentiates us, because learning and books everybody can provide, but the insights that we have to derive is what will differentiate somebody and help improve the learning. So basis the practice and assessment that the child does, we entered into the next 4th step, which is deep analytics. So basis every single question that the child takes on the platform, a lot of insights are generated, and these insights are then converted into understandable, easy to use, real-time generated reports and dashboards available for all stakeholders. So basis the insight that we get based on every single question that the child practices, we are able to understand their individual learning gaps, their individual opportunity areas, their individual hurdle areas, and their individual weaknesses. So when we are able to understand the entire SWOT analysis for a child, we are able to tailor the learning accordingly. So this is the power of deep analytics. And as I said, just like the Google roadmap, we are trying to build that learning roadmap for the child. So the deep analytics for us is also predictive. So when we take a test, it is not just a matter of telling that the child has scored 80 out of 100, meaning the child has answered 80% of the questions correctly. That is just one aspect of it. For us, the insight is in providing the information on how proficient the child is in that subject, and where will his proficiency, his or her proficiency, take them ahead. So it's a predictive analytics, predictive journey that we also devise for the child. So that gives all the stakeholders a clear visibility on whether they are going right or not. Basis the analytics and basis the feedback that we generate, we do not leave the learning at that level before we move to the next topic, because we still feel that the circle or the cycle has not been closed. The next step for us are the live need-based tutorials. Again, a key differentiator for us, because here what we do is, basis the insights that we have generated and the ability to understand what are the areas that the child needs to focus on, we are able to club smaller groups of students, bring them together in what we call these need-based live tutorial sessions. So a child who is weak or who has an opportunity to improve in topic A will be called with another child who has a similar problem. They will not be called with students who have problems or weakness areas in other topics. So we club smaller groups of students, create homogeneous group of students, we understand their performances, and then we bring them to these live need-based tutorial sessions, which are again conducted by our experts from Noida. What these experts would cater to is specifically focus on those weakness points, and the 1.5 hours that we spend in these tutorial sessions will have clearly defined tangible outcomes, so that when the child goes out of that class, they go back satisfied and confident that they will be able to answer the questions related to the topic henceforth. So this is how the whole learning cycle for us gets completed when we talk about the Q&I program. And that also talks about the key differentiators that we bring in when compared to the other after-school programs. Like the other after-school programs, we have the elements of teaching, the learning, the books and the reference material, the assessments and practice. But what clearly differentiates us is the power of technology that we are using through the Q&I's adaptive platform to understand the child, figure out the gaps, and then cater to those gaps at an individual level and bring about the true personalization. So this, in a nutshell, is what the Q&I program is. I'll just spend a couple of minutes talking about how we began and what is the success rate so far, because that is another area that everybody would want to know about. So last year we went out into the market with the solution. We have worked with around 50 schools. We did not launch it. We worked with specific set of schools. So 50 schools, around 5,000 students that we worked with last year. Around 270 students appeared in the JEE Mains this year from Q&I, out of which 40 students scored more than 90 percentile marks. So with the highest of 99.93 percentile. So we had a success percentage of around 15%, whereas the national average, if you compare with, is 4%. So that is the limited success that Q&I has enjoyed over the last 1 year. In the forthcoming academic session, which is 25-26, we are focusing on 40 cities, to be more precise, and also several state governments. So we are focusing on these 40 cities, reaching out to schools like you. So around 2,000 schools is what we plan to reach out over the next 2-3 months. We have already covered around 15 cities so far. So we have another 25 to go in the next 2 months. And then we are going to cater to these 2 lakh learners from these 2,000 schools. And this is the program for us, or this is the vision for us for the next 1 year. In the private school space, we are also offering, we are also trying to come up with solutions for the government school students, because affordability, technology also provides that benefit of affordability. And for government school students, we are trying to work out solutions with state governments, and we are in discussions with some of them. We have also run pilot projects for a couple of state governments. So that is how we cater to the less privileged or less resourceful background of students. And then we have this solution where we have reached out to schools like you, where we want to come up, talk about your individual individual schools. So this is a very generic idea of the program that we have. Now the next step for us is to probably come to your school, visit your school, understand what the dynamics is, what is the requirement, and probably customize a solution, Q&I solution based on your individual needs, and accordingly work out a proposal, a plan for you. So this is the plan for us. Post the session that we have today, we will have a couple of my team members who will be stationed in Bhopal, who will be available to meet you at your time of convenience. So we will also be introducing them. Right after the session, we are going to have a networking break. So my team members are also going to reach out to you individually in case you have a convenient time between the 19th to the 21st of December. We will be here in the city. So we will be very happy if you could just spare 30 to 45 minutes of your time during those days, where we can actually come and present and talk to you about the solution in greater detail and how we can actually come and devise a solution for your school in particular. So that's the idea about the whole program and what we intend to do going forward in the weeks ahead. That brings an end to the brief introduction that we have for Q&I. I would now like to open the forum. So any feedback, any queries, any questions that you may have, I'd be very happy to take those. Anything? I hope I was able to somewhat clear the aspects of the differentiators that Q&I brings in and how we try to differentiate ourselves from the regular coaching programs that we have. And this is one thing that has been very, very close to our hearts, that we want to devise a solution where we want to work with the school to bring back the glory back to where it belongs. So we want to work out a solution that works within the school, works with the school, because schools are going to be the center of the entire learning process. We come in as technology players, we come in as content players to reinforce and not replace the existing system of school education. And that is the solution that we want to build for the future.
The program sounds to be very good, and you have covered all the aspects, because myself, I'm running integrated, I don't want this. We are running integrated classes in our school, and we are not charging a single penny from the parents. But at the same time, the child needs to get convinced by what you are giving to them.
Right.
And the time constraints are there. One of my colleagues rightly said that the completion of syllabus, it's not only completion of syllabus to cover or uncover, it's basically, we follow all the strategies, like we are into the system since years, we know how to go about with the things and all. But by the end of the day, when the board exams are approaching, at that time we need to give practice to the children. We have the ability children, we have the low achievers, we have mediocre. So the children are divided into various groups. So we have to bring up these low achievers up. Like as you are offering only JEE and NEET.
This is specifically for 11th and 12th?
11th and 12th only I'm talking about, other classes I'm not. So because the focus is there only. Any schools, the standard is looked by how many children have cracked IIT, how many have entered NET. So we are being BPS, a branded school. So we are rated on that level only. So is the topper there in class 12? Is the topper there in 10th? What is the state rank of the child?
Right.
And what is the pan-India rank of the child? So we are working on those levels. Okay. So, and then at the same time, we are into the averages also. It's not only the child is scoring high percentage. What is the actual, aggregate average also we work on.
Absolutely.
So this is what BPS society asks us.
Absolutely.
Okay, and the minimum average that they want per subject is 80.
Yes.
So it's very difficult. Physics, chemistry and maths, getting 80 as an average is a task. So I was just coming to the program that you are offering. It's really wonderful, and you have covered all the aspects. Again, there are certain nitty-gritties that we have to work into.
Absolutely, ma'am. Yes.
If we want you to enter our schools, there's so many other things that have to be planned, that have to be pre-planned.
Right, ma'am.
Okay? The time constraints, the acceptance of the students, of the teacher, acceptance of the parents. We are providing free, but then also the children are not there.
Right.
So what is the answer to that?
Right. So that is what.
Definitely, it will be chargeable.
This is.
It is chargeable. Now, my question is, if this program is, like we convey to our children, so whether they are going to, like you, I don't know what is your way of catering, whether you want to be the partner with the school, or if an individual child wants to shake hand with you, then what?
So we offer both. We offer both models, but the one that's preferable for us is to partner with the school, because again, unless and until the school and we have
for that again, many constraints are
absolutely
there with the private school especially. I don't know about the government schools and all, because the management has to come into.
Right.
The principal has liked it.
Right.
I would like to have this, because specifically like into personalized learning that we were discussing on. So you are working on those lines, right?
Right.
But at the same time, the management has to
absolutely
say yes.
Absolutely. So there are some
Many
individual
constraints
schools.
are there
Absolutely.
with us.
Absolutely.
That is why I was asking you, like if not the school, then can individual be,
Yes, yes. So that is also a model that we work with, and on the point of convincing the students, because we have been to schools and we face that problem. So the entire process, before we actually plunge into the implementation of the program, there are a series of steps that we need to first take care of. First, understanding the requirements, proposing what we have.
And the right time to implement is in the session.
Absolutely.
That is also very important.
Absolutely. So, and then how we approach the parents, because the parents and the students have to be taken into account. It's a very, very important decision in their lives. So they will not just go for anything that's being suggested to them. So we have to present what exactly it is, provide them with the demo classes and other opportunities to see how actually what we are speaking is actually translating into actions, and then only individual challenges and how we are actually taking care of those, and then we try to see if a solution or a model can be worked out. In fact, even with the state governments, the similar thing works, because one state government will be different from another. So we have to actually work and on the nitty-gritties plan that out, and that is what actually being part of an organization that has been there for the last 50 years, the robustness of the processes and the people processes actually makes a difference. Unlike a regular startup started by individuals who don't have that prior experience, we actually have that ability or capability to actually understand and customize the solution accordingly. So we'll definitely come and meet and see what can be worked out. All right, any other feedback, suggestion? We really look forward to meeting you all between 19th to 21st. Even later we'll be around, but 19th to 21st is the next week that we'll be here, and so it'll be great if we can get time from some of you to actually come over and present the solution. Share over to you. Thank you for your patient hearing. Looking forward to seeing you and meeting you again in future. Thank you.
Thank you, Anurag. But before I proceed, may I please introduce two of the Q&I team members who will be stationed in the city to meet you all at your convenience. May I please invite Abhishek Arya and Shubham Simar on the stage. Two of our specialists in our team who will be responsible for ensuring collaboration and relationship with the schools. They will be stationed here in the city to meet you all. 19 to 21st. They will also meet you in the networking break, which is right after this, to see when we can meet you all, at what time you all are available, plus how can we best collaborate.
So they have been in the city for the last 1 week as well, and must have met some of you earlier as well. So they'll again be stationed in the city, and any questions that you have, just let them know and they'll be there to answer all those. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Shubham. Thank you, Anurag. With that, let's take a short networking break right now. We'll reconvene in 20 minutes. Meanwhile, there's some snacks outside. This is a great opportunity to connect with fellow educators. Our team will also be there if you have any questions that y'all would like to ask us. We'll be available. Once again, a short networking break. We'll reconvene in 20 minutes. And post that, we have the awards segment. Thank you.
इस टेस्ट पे भी आ रहा था, तो मतलब सोचते थे कि वो कर भी पाएगा कि नहीं।
इसलिए मैं अपने फ्रेंड सर्कल के पास गया, तो उन्हीं में से एक फ्रेंड ने मुझे सजेस्ट किया Q&A प्लेटफॉर्म के बारे में। Q&A सब्सक्रिप्शन लेने के बाद मैंने सबसे पहले उसमें एक डायग्नोस्टिक असेसमेंट दिया, जिससे मुझे मेरे स्ट्रेंथ एंड वीकनेसेस पता चल गई। मुझे ये पता चल गया कि कौन से मेरे टॉपिक्स वीक है, कौन सा चैप्टर वीक है। उसके बाद मैंने टॉपिक वाइज टेस्ट देना स्टार्ट कर दिया, जिससे मेरा काफ़ी टाइम बचने लगा, क्योंकि इंस्टेड ऑफ कवरिंग होल चैप्टर आई वॉज कवरिंग टॉपिक वाइज थिंग्स। Q&A में ये एक अच्छा फीचर है कि टॉपिक वाइज क्वेश्चंस अनलिमिटेड हैं, आप कितने भी क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हो। Q&A जब मैंने यूज़ किया तो स्टार्टिंग में उसने मेरी लेवल के क्वेश्चंस मुझे देने स्टार्ट किए, फिर ग्रेजुअली उस लेवल को इंक्रीज करता गया। जैसे
Before we begin with the awards, we understand that some of y'all have traveled from really far away places to be with us here this evening. We don't want you all to leave immediately. However, we understand that you all have long distances to travel. So before we start with the awards, can we just take 2 minutes to quickly have a group picture? I'm going to request all of y'all to kindly come up on the stage. Let's do a group picture. We would like to capture this moment. Please come up on the stage. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Now we move into a very special part of today's event. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce our awards segment. This moment is dedicated to honoring the individuals who have gone above and beyond in shaping the future of education. This moment is dedicated to honoring you all. Today we celebrate the educators, leaders, and change makers who continuously strive for excellence in their work. These awards are a testament to your extraordinary contribution, leadership, and vision for a brighter future for education. So without much further ado, let's begin the awards ceremony. May I please request the Q&I team to kindly join us on this stage as we present the awards. Team, please join us on the stage. And may I now take the liberty to request our Executive Director and CEO, Mr. Vinay Singh, to kindly present the awards to the education leaders this evening. Thank you for joining us, sir. Well, let's begin. The first award for this evening goes to Mr. Amit Saha, Principal, Swami Vivekanand Public School. Congratulations, sir. Please put your hands together for Dr. Anju Chopra, Principal, Sri Satya Sai Vidya Vihar. Congratulations, ma'am. our next awardee, Dr. Karandeep Singh, Principal, Vipure World Academy. Congratulations, sir. Please put your hands together for Mr. Gaurav Kumar, Principal, the Sanskriti School. Congratulations, sir. Here's to our next winner, Miss Lakshmi Peter, Principal, Orion International School. Congratulations, ma'am. Please put your hands together for Miss Vandana Dhupar, Principal, Delhi Public School. Congratulations, ma'am. Please put your hands together for Brother Monichin KK, Principal, St. Montfort School. Congratulations, sir. Please put your hands together for Dr. Charu Arora, Principal, Sri Bhavans Bharti Public School. Congratulations, ma'am. Here's to our next awardee, Mr. Chaitanya Saxena, Principal, LNCT World School. Congratulations, sir. Please put your hands together for our next school leader, Ms. Deepti Singh, Principal, International Public School. Congratulations, ma'am. put your hands together for Dr. Father Athnis Lakra, Principal, Campion School. We have Father Alok, the Vice Principal, taking the award on his behalf. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations to our next awardee, Dr. Zeba Khan, School Head, Techno India Group. Congratulations, ma'am. Please put your hands together for Dr. Rajiv Anand, Principal, Sardar Patel High Secondary School. Congratulations, sir. Here's to our next awardee, Dr. Sandesh Mishra, Principal, Silver Bells Convent School. Congratulations, ma'am. Inviting our next awardee for this evening, Ms. Farzana Hassan, Principal, Mount Litra Z School. Congratulations, ma'am. Please put your hands together for Ms. Mamta Bhattacharjee, Principal, Maharishi Vidya Mandir. Congratulations, ma'am. May I now invite Ms. Manpreet Roy, Principal, Red Rose School. Congratulations, ma'am. Please put your hands together for Mr. Mohan Babu Rana, Principal, Christ Vidya Bhavan. Congratulations, sir. to our next awardee, Ms. Munira Hassan, Principal, MSB Educational Institute. Congratulations, ma'am. Please put your hands together for Ms. Neelam Chaudhary, Principal, Sage International School. Here's to our next awardee, Mr. Pavan Kumar Sharma, Director, Geeta Public School. May I now invite Mr. Rajesh Nair, Principal, St. George Co-ed Senior Secondary School. Congratulations, sir. Put your hands together for Ms. Renu Aneja, Principal, Mount Litra Z School. Congratulations, ma'am. Big round of applause for Ms. Renu Mule, Principal, the Vedansh International School. Congratulations, ma'am. Ms. Sushmita Deb, Principal, World Way International School. Congratulations, ma'am. Put your hands together for Mr. Umesh Patidar, Director, Rukmani Devi Public School. Congratulations, sir. Honoring our next awardee, Ms. Tanya Kishir Sagar from Sharda Vidya Mandir. once again, a big congratulations to all the awardees. Please give yourselves a huge round of applause. Thank you, team, and thank you, Vanessa, for doing the honors. Yes. With that, we come to the close of the event. A small announcement before you all leave for the evening. You remember we clicked your pictures when you all entered. They have been printed and kept outside as a small souvenir for you all. Please do take them with you. They're right outside on the table. We hope you like them. And with that, we come to the close of today's event. It is my privilege to extend a heartfelt thank you to each one of you. Thank you for making it today, and thank you for making Q&I today a success. I wish you a safe journey, good night, and once again, thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone.